Good morning children. Today we will learn about the motions of the earth. First part already we had learned rotation of the earth. That means you had learned two motions of the earth, that is rotation and revolution. So, rotation already you have learned. Today you will be moving on to a revolution and a section of revolution, meaning everything you have learned in Zoom class. Once again we will go back to what is revolution. So, beginning with what is revolution? So, revolution is the movement of the earth on its axis around the sun. The earth keeps on moving around the sun rather than other than rotating the rotation of the earth on its axis, it always keeps on moving around the sun. This fixed path through which the earth moves is called as the orbit. It is on this orbit that the earth keeps on moving around the sun in an elliptical path. As you notice the picture here, you can find that this picture is not actually round in shape. It is somewhat, the two portions of this path is somewhat elongated like an egg. That is why you call it as elliptical orbit. So, the earth keeps on moving around the sun in its elliptical path or orbit, and it is as a result of this movement of the earth around the sun that make seasons. So, look at the picture here, you can see that this earth is somewhat, the position of the earth is somewhat tilted, that means it is inclined. So, as a result of this inclination of the earth as well as the revolutions, as well as the revolution of the earth, it results in the change of seasons. So, you know specifically that there are 4 seasons. So, which are the 4 seasons? They are spring, summer, autumn and winter. So, in this picture 4 positions of the earth are given here. 4 positions of the earth are given here, and you see in some situations the earth is very closer to the sun, in some situations the earth is very far away from the sun. It can be a little bit far away from the sun. So, when the earth is closer to the sun, its speed of revolution is also very much increased, and thereby you call it as perihelion. It is called as perihelion. Perihelion means when the earth is closer to the sun. And when the earth is closer to the sun, the speed of revolution will also be more. Now, next is aphelion, that means when the earth is far away from the sun. There are situations when the earth is little bit far away from the sun, which you call it as aphelion. Here under situation of aphelion, the speed of revolution will also be decreased. So, moving on to the change of season. How the change of season occurs? See here 2 dates are given, 21st March and 23rd September. 21st March and 23rd September. What is happening here? Check it out. It is given in your textbook also, the picture. So, you can take your textbook also and check it out there. What happens here? See, even see the earth is inclined a little bit, and see the north pole and the south pole, both these poles are inclined towards the sun. They are neither inclined towards the sun nor they are away from it. When you look at the picture here, you can easily identify what is the difference. They are away from the sun, that is the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Here also the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere are away from the sun. It is not inclined towards the sun nor it is away from the sun. Now, here the rays of the sun is falling vertically over to the equator. As you notice here, you can easily understand that the rays of the sun falls vertically over to the equator. So, when the rays of the sun falls vertically over the equator, the days and nights are equal. That means days and nights are of equal duration throughout the world. Now, the season in both the northern hemisphere as well as in the southern hemisphere is same. I hope you understood. Once again I will repeat it. On 21st March, the north pole and south pole are not inclined towards the sun nor they are away from it. That means the none of these poles, that is whether it may be the north pole or south pole, here also north pole or south pole, it is away from the sun, and here the rays of the sun is falling vertically over onto the equator. So since the rays of the sun falls equally onto the or vertically over to the equator, both the days and the nights are equal here. So this you call, that means it is neither too hot nor very cold. So these days or these conditions are almost similar throughout the world. So on 21st March and on 23rd September you call, that means you say that the days and nights are both equal in here on the 21st March and the 23rd September, which you call it as equinox. You call it as equinox. So on 21st March, the North Pole will be having spring season and the South Pole will be having autumn season. So here you call it as spring equinox. And here on 23rd September, the northern hemisphere will be having autumn season and the southern hemisphere will be having spring season, which you call it as autumn equinox. So on 21st March, here they will be experiencing spring equinox, and on 23rd September they will be experiencing autumn equinox. I hope understood this one. Next, moving on to the other two pictures, that is June 21st and 22nd December. June 21st and 22nd December. So listen to the first picture here, 21st June. Here on 21st June, the North Pole is inclined towards the sun. The northern pole is closer to the sun here. When you look at the picture itself, you will be understanding that the North Pole is more closer to the sun compared to the South Pole. Here the rays of the sun will be falling vertically over the Tropic of Cancer. You have studied the most important parallels of latitude. So here the rays of the sun falls vertically over to the Tropic of Cancer, that is 23.5 degree north. So when it was equinox, the rays of the sun was falling vertically over to the equator, and on 21st June when the northern pole is tilted towards the sun, whenever it is inclined towards the sun, the rays of the sun falls more vertically over to the Tropic of Cancer. That shows that major portions of the northern hemisphere get light or get direct light from the sun. Northern portion will be getting direct sunlight, and thereby it is very hot here. That means days are long as well as they are very hot. So this position of the earth, or when the sun shines vertically on the Tropic of Cancer, you call it as summer solstice. It is called as summer solstice. So moving on to the next one, what happens on 22nd December? On 22nd December, just opposite of what happened in summer solstice happens in winter solstice. See, the northern hemisphere is away from the sun and the southern hemisphere is much more closer towards the sun. It comes closer to the sun. So here sunlight falls vertically on the Tropic of Capricorn. Falls vertically over the Tropic of Capricorn here. So majority of these areas will be getting direct light from the sun, and thereby you call it as winter solstice. So these are the four different seasons which is being caused as a result of revolution. So there are a number of after effects that is being caused as a result of revolution of the earth. One is change of seasons, already you learned. Then varying length of days and nights. That means the duration, the length of day and night keeps on changing in different places. Then another effect is perihelion and ephelion, and as a result of this revolution, a number of heat zones are also created on the earth. So hope understood. Thank you.